Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is What's Done in the Dark Tea, and this is our Love Island Season 8, Episode 19 review. If you guys could do me a favor and do all of the things like, share, subscribe, do all the things for me, I would really appreciate it. But we'll just get right into it. I'm not going to lie. Tonight's episode was pretty boring. They had me interested when Casa first started, but now I'm not gonna lie, this episode was a little bit of a snooze fest, but I guess we did have to get to meet everyone and, get some conversations going, but I'm like, this is the longest day and a half in history. But either way, we open up with a conversation and we see Kinsey and Dylan having a conversation. Kinsey is just saying that she likes him. They're getting to know each other. They have things in common. I'm not going to lie. I zoned out a little bit during that conversation, so I can't even tell you what they were talking about. Then we get a conversation with Corbin and Pramita. Come to find out that they were actually in each other's DMs in Miami before the show. Corbin claims that he didn't recognize her. She said they had a few words back and forth when she first moved to the city. They seem to be pretty interested in each other. He asks her how she feels about Caleb, and she says Caleb is kind of a husband, but then proceeds to kiss Corbin. And I'm not seeing it. I don't know if the TV screen is just like not doing him justice to me, but Caleb is fine. Like, super fine. Like, I think the best looking guy on the show. And I'm having a hard time figuring out why every single girl that he talks to wants to talk to Corbin. Like, Corbin gives fuckboy, but then it's like, I also have to remember that everybody is like super young. So maybe even though they're saying they're looking for love, maybe they're not really looking for love. I have no idea. But if you're looking for love, to me, you go with a guy like Caleb, not a guy like Corbin. I mean, whatever. Then we get a conversation between Casey and Sydney. And I'm not going to lie, the more these episodes go on, I really see why Aniya and Casey were hitting heads. I'm not saying that Aniya is perfect because she has annoyed the hell out of me in most of these episodes. But I will say Casey is so corny. Like, if he was pressuring her about like sex, like, because it seems like every single conversation with him is like sexual. Like the Casey that we saw in the villa was, I believe, bruised ego Casey because he didn't get chosen. And then so he did this personality, or they were editing him to have this personality that I don't think that he really has, because I feel like him and Casa, that is the true Casey, and I just think that is just so corny. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think everything about it is corny. I don't like when people are just overly sexual. Like, it just, I don't know. It's just weird to me. I don't like it. But then you're gonna sit there and make everything sexual and then turn around and say that you're very vanilla. So you mean to tell me that you're horny and boring? It doesn't even make any sense. What are you even freaked out for? Y'all gonna be freaked out and missionary for the rest of your lives? I don't even understand what's going on. He just, gross me green. But then he says that he wants to sleep with Sydney. After all last night, he was all up on Tierra, all jumping between her legs, making out, doing all the things. She likes me. She likes me for me. All this extra stuff that he was doing, and now he wants to sleep in the bed with Sydney because he feels like he has to explore. This is why I think Casey is corny, because it's just like running through women. You're not even there for a connection. You're just in there to be disgusting and gross. Every time you like, oh, I'm gonna hook up with a girl, and then you do the rocket power, woogity woogity woogity, like I'm so cool. Like, yuck. Casey, I wanted better for you, but it's just really grossing me out. And the way he we'll get there. But, oh yeah. And then another thing, like I said, when he's talking to Sydney, he talks about like how he wanted to be wanted and he feels wanted. And that was what I said in the last one. I feel like he wants attention. He wants to be the prize. And he wasn't getting that with Aniya. And now he's getting it because he feels like he's a hot commodity. He says so many things in this one episode that I'm like, what are you even talking about? And this is not saying that Casey is not a good looking guy, because he is, but the way that he was acting literally made him not even attractive to me. I don't know what was going on with him in these last couple episodes. So then we get a conversation between Gal and Jen. I don't really know much to say about them. Jen seems really happy in her couple with him. I think Love Island has really done him dirty with the promo pictures and everything like that. I saw his Instagram pictures and I thought that he was cute. And I saw another girl that I guess was like his friend. I can't remember where he's from. Did she say like Colorado? No, it was something no, never mind. Not Colorado. That was dumb. Something like beachfront, because he has a coffee shop with surfboards in it. I can't remember where they said that it was, but she said that all the girls think that he's hot, and I could kind of see it. I kind of like the mustache, and whenever I saw him put the hat on, I was like, everything comes together when he has the hat on. I think that without the hat, not so much. With the hat, I can see it. But honestly, him and Jen are kind of boring. It's a little boring, I'm not going to lie. So, moving along. Oh, rewind that a little bit. They had this conversation about like wanting their person to be obsessed with them and how they both liked having someone that was obsessed with them. And I was like, this is a reality TV show. I'm not even going to think too much into it. I'm not even going to say anything. Never mind, carry on. They decide to sleep together and they kiss. Then we get a conversation. Melanie and Ronnie, they're talking to each other. That's who she picked in the challenge. They're getting to know each other a little bit. The chemistry is there, but not really. I'm not sure if there's really anything between Ronnie, but they do agree to sleep with each other, like sleep in the bed to eat with each other, but she says she likes to take things slow. I can't tell if she's into him. I'm not really sure. Then we get a conversation between Sin and Amora. In the first episode, I didn't really know what Amora's personality was, but seeing the second episode, I think that Sin, and this is not saying that they look alike, but I think that he definitely has the ability to like attract the same like type of women, in the sense of like that, like very like healing, like whimsy kind of female, like the very like bubbly, like earthy, like, I don't know how to explain it. He likes a very like a bubbly, like fairy type of girl, and there's nothing wrong with that. I could see how he would definitely get that, because every time I see him in a couple talking to somebody, I could see why people like Sin, and I could see why he attracts the kind of women that he does. He seems to have like a very soft presence about him, even if it is a very soft bed of lies. But either way, they kiss again. He says he needs to explore, so they keep kissing. I don't know how much more he needs to explore, but he's just going to keep kissing. We get a conversation between Corbin and Caleb, because like I said before, Pramita was all up on Corbin and like kind of like even in front of Caleb, just like flirting with Corbin heavy, and I just don't get it. But whenever she gets up and walks away, Corbin and Caleb kind of look at each other and it's like, oh, we're going to do this again, blah, 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 blah. May the best man win. I'm just not understanding it. Like, I'm just not understanding why these girls don't like Caleb. Like, I barely like anybody else in the villa guy-wise but Caleb. So I'm not understanding what they're not seeing. Oh yeah, this was crazy. So in the beginning, we talked about Casey having the conversation with Sydney and telling her that he wanted to sleep in the bed with her. But he did not, at that point, he had not let Tierra, the girl that came in liking him, the one that he was hyped for all the attention he was getting from her last night, he didn't tell her yet. And whenever he does tell her, she immediately gets pissed off. And, her reaction kind of reminds me of someone else's reaction. Aniya. I don't know what this man... Well, actually, I do know because I was seeing it on TV and he was pissing me off. He's jokey, he's unserious, and he's dangerously horny. And that pretty much sums it all up. But he tells Tierra, and she's not having it. She's giving him the same thing. Go do what you want. I don't care. I'm done talking. Then honestly, this pissed me off because in that moment, he felt worse for Tierra and how he made her feel after knowing her for one night than I felt like that he showed for Aniya. And don't get me wrong, Aniya is annoying. Don't get me wrong. But it was like how he was actually even thought about Tierra's feelings. And I don't feel like one time since he's been in Casa has he thought about Aniya's feelings. Just crazy work. Crazy work. So then we get a conversation between Jen, Kata, and Trinity. Trinity really likes Bryce. And I think that that's cute because like in the last episode, you were seeing at the end of it, Bryce kind of having his moment about Trinity. But, they show her kissing in the photo booth and everything like that. But then you see in this episode, Trinity is actually really missing Bryce. And even though, I always liked Trinity and Bryce. They were my number ones as a couple. But I wonder if he kisses different with her. That is just something that I just keep thinking about because everybody else makes it such a point to say how terrible his kissing is. Everybody's bringing up the turtle tongue. I want to know. Does he kiss different with her? Does she change it? Like, what is going on there? I don't know. I hope that that's a question that somebody asks her as soon as she comes out of the villa. So then everybody's going to bed. Caleb and Jaden sleep together. Pramita and Corbin are in the bed together kissing. Corbin is just always kissing. He's always just kissing and he is just so freaky. It just blows my mind that people really... And I'm not saying that Gabe wasn't freaked out too. But between Gabe, Kinsey, and Corbin, and now KC, this should have been a whole different dating show. I'm telling you, that one where if they touch each other, they lose money and whatever. That's the one that they should have been on. Because all of these people are just super horny. I don't know what is going on. I'm like, somebody jump in the pool, cool them off. It's just crazy. We hear all the girls talk. They're debriefing about the day. Aniya lets us know that her and Carl kissed. She seems happy. We don't get that much of Aniya in this episode, so I hope that she was giving Carl a fair shot because KC is definitely bringing Tierra back, and he is not thinking about her, and I do not want her standing there alone with that look on her face. Like, this is not season 6. This is not like a Cordell and, Serena or a Kenny and Janae, which, screw Kenny, because Janae is queen. But either way, it's not going to be one of those situations. So I hope that she's taking full advantage of this. Sin and Zach, they talk. KC says that he wants TT back after he slept in the bed with Sydney because he said that he's not into it. Again, this just proves my point. Dangerously horny. We get a shot of Zach. Zach is talking. Zach is in the conversation. We get a shot with him. He's talking about how he can't stop thinking about Kata. Melanie in the villa is talking with Corey, and it seems like they have a lot more in common than she did with Ronnie. Now, this is a couple that I could actually see maybe being a little of something, because it seems like they actually have a lot in common. He seems very into Mel. Mel seems more interested in him than she did with Ronnie, so I think that could be good. We get another conversation between Kata and Shay. He doesn't have social media. She thinks that that's a green flag, but she's still not ready to kiss him. TT and KC talk. She says, "Do you think I'm crazy?" And honestly, I don't think that, I mean, she did act a little crazy, but I think also KC wants women to act crazy because, like, for one, he was smiling when he was doing it, and then he's like, "I think I just owe it to myself to just try all my options." Like, ew. Like, KC, ew. My God, this is why nobody was standing behind your door in the beginning. Ew. What the heck is going on? Then we get a conversation between Aniya, Melanie, and Trin. Melanie says that she does like Corey, but she's scared because, you know, the feelings that she has for Sincere, and she doesn't really know which way he's going to go. And I can't really tell which way Sin is going to go just from watching the other clips. It doesn't seem to me like he really likes Amora, but then at the same time, he keeps kissing Amora, and that's kind of how I felt with him and Soul, even though I did think that he liked Soul, but then he didn't like Soul, but then I kind of think he doesn't like Amora, but then he keeps kissing Amora. Sin is a very complicated person, so I honestly don't know. If I was Melanie, I would be confused too. This is another scene where we find out really how much Trinity is into Bryce, and I don't think that, even though they, you know, have been matched up for a long time and said they liked each other, I don't think that we really got to see these emotions until this episode. She talks about how she has a little insecurity about him being in Casa, how dating somebody of a different race, it's easy for them to go back to something comfortable. And I like that about this season of Love Island, that the race conversation isn't just something that they talk about on the interviews afterwards. I like that these conversations are being shown while the show is going on, because I think it's important to highlight it, because I think that Black women on these shows have a very, 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 very difficult time from casting, the environment, all of that. And sometimes it honestly feels like a humiliation ritual. And I hate that. And it'll be very beautiful women that I feel like don't even really get the Love Island experience. If we're like, think about like Janae, for instance. Like, Janae is beautiful. Everything about her is beautiful. Like, body, personality, everything about her. She's just an overall 10. And literally, it was like they had to kind of like bring in somebody like specifically for her, just so that she could get a experience, because every time she liked somebody, they didn't like her back. And it was I don't know, sometimes it gets really hard to watch. So I'm glad that they're having these conversations on TV. I think that Nick and Olandria also did a very good job of, after they left the villa, really like talking about how like, you know, the race aspect of everything has really affected their relationships, and how stuff was being said and how it negatively affected them and their experiences, and just how they were presented on TV. And I think that it's good to see it this season, because it shouldn't just be a conversation that you see on TikTok. It should be brought to the forefront. If they're experiencing it, it should be said. Jaden and Caleb talk and vibe. It seems like they get along pretty well. I wasn't sure about it at first, because it did seem like a little bit of a default couple, but they seem to like each other. People in the comments have to let me know, because she said, he asked her if she was a natural blonde, and she said she was. I don't know. That's not what, in my mind, that's not, I don't know if that's what I thought a natural blonde looked like, but you guys let me know. Maybe I'm just tripping. I don't know. Maybe she is a natural blonde. Corbin and Casey are having a conversation, and they say that they're going to break hearts. Casey is really driving it home in this episode that he does not like Aniya. He's saying that they have nothing in common. that he's more attracted to TT, and that he doesn't have to beg for anything with her, that she likes him. He's not begging for kisses. He's not begging for attention. He actually says, he said his stock is going up. I wrote that down. He said, my stock went up. In the same conversation, Corbin is talking about how he told Pramita if her and Kinsey were standing next to each other when he came in the villa, he would have gotten to know her and been with her instead of Kinsey. And I'm just like, why do you have to put Kinsey down to big Pramita up? Like, she's beautiful. Kinsey's beautiful. But he was a manipulator. He never liked Kinsey. We never thought that he liked Kinsey. The only person that thought he liked Kinsey was Kinsey. So whatever. I hope that her and Dylan run off into the sunset together, because Corbin GPT, power down. Pramita says that she's horny, as everyone else on the show is just dangerously horny. Then Kinsey and Corbin get a text. We find out the challenge is temperature rising. That's the ones where the couples go head to head, Villa versus Casa. There's a heart meter and you draw a ball out. It tells you what you have to do, and they go head to head to see who's going to win. The first round is Sin, Amora, Melanie, and Corey, and the ball that they pick is Lick. These challenges, honestly, they be a lot, but Mel won. Then we have Kata and Shay, Zach, and Alana. Alana is still here because I'm guessing all of these episodes were kind of pre-recorded because they broke up the Casa night into so many days, so I don't know when they're going to say that she's not there, but she didn't really get any airtime, so the editing has already pretty much cut her out. She wasn't really getting too much airtime. Theirs was Kiss and Kata and Shay who end up winning, and then Zach says afterward, Shay sounds like a loser. And I just thought that was funny. I don't know. It was just a little funny part. We have Jen and Gal versus Caleb and Jaden, and the ball that they pick is Tickle. This was so weird. I don't even understand what they were supposed to be doing. It was just so weird, but Jen wins. Then we get Aniya and Carl and KC and Tierra, and the challenge is dance. KC is so corny. Every time he pops up on the screen, I'm like, ugh. I've got the ick and I just can't let it go. This is not a KC bashing session, guys. I just have the ick right now, I swear. It'll be gone in a few episodes. Hopefully somebody do something to out-ick KC. But KC and Tierra end up winning. I don't know what Aniya was doing. Thank God for Carl, because he was the one who was really pulling out all the magic mic and everything, while Aniya was just, I don't know what the heck she was doing. We have Trinity and Ronnie, Bryce and Sydney, and I think theirs was Suck. There was just a lot of finger licking, toe licking. It was just really disgusting. Trinity was out here licking this man's toes and still lost. I was like, Kennedy, don't ever do that shit again. Don't ever do that shit again. Especially not on TV. Trinity, don't ever do that again. Then we get Kinsey and Dylan, Corbin and Pramita, and it's Nibble. Again, stupid. I don't understand what was going on. Kinsey was throwing ass. Corbin was eating ass, biting ass cheeks. There was splits. Kinsey is sucking toes. This was the freakiest round. And I feel like they gave it to, you know what, I'm not even going to say anything because Corbin was definitely eating ass. So I can't even say anything. I guess they won fair and square. Then they have to do a tiebreaker, and it is kind of like you do whatever you want, like a freestyle or whatever. It was a lot going on. Everybody was just kissing everybody. They was upside down, splits. It was just a lot. But overall, the villa wins. Yay, the villa wins. Then we get a conversation between Corey and Tren. She kind of just lets him know that she's not the most interested and gives him her blessing to go and talk to Mel. Then we get a clip of Melanie and Corey talking in the Sleep Easy. They agree that they're going to sleep together. And Corey, just like Ronnie, lets Melanie know that Sincere was lying to her and playing her back and forth in the situation with Soul. She says that it's giving her a lot to think about. You can see that she likes Corey. I'm still not convinced that she's going to leave Sincere or bring this guy back, but it does seem that they have a good connection, and who knows, maybe now that she knows that Sincere was lying, she may want to bring him back. Even though I think she'll end up with Sincere, maybe she'll still just bring him back for a little drama. Who knows? We also get, as this conversation is going on, they're flipping back and forth between Sin and Amora. I'm not going to lie, Sin does not look interested. In the face, he just looks very uninterested. But then, kind of like I felt with Soul, it was like Amora has these, like, the way she's talking is like they have these deep conversations and they're very connected. And maybe, I don't know if that's just how he makes girls feel. I don't know if he's really, I can't tell. I really can't tell what's going on, because it seems, from looking at it, it doesn't seem that he's interested, but I swear, just listening to her talk, it seems like there's more to it, and they do seem very comfortable with each other. They keep kissing, they're doing the whole thing, so I guess only time will tell, but overall, this was just kind of a blah episode for me. I think it was a necessary episode, but I just wish that there was a little bit more. I kind of think that by bringing, I know that having the 12 guys was overwhelming at once, but I feel like maybe they could have like phased them in at different times, because I don't know if forcing them to like pick a guy so quickly, I feel like by eliminating the rest of the guys, it was kind of putting him in a position to pick one guy, and then if they weren't interested in that guy, it would be very easy for them to like want to be back with their original men. So I do wish that there was kind of a little bit more drama in that aspect, like we could have like phased in more people just to, so that they wouldn't lock in so soon or whatever. But other than that, I think it was pretty good. And yeah, we're off tomorrow, so we'll get this up tomorrow, and we will be back on oh yeah, we'll be back on Friday morning, since there's not one tomorrow, Thursday night. Yeah, so we'll be back on Friday morning. So you guys, let me know what you think about the Islanders down in the comments. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and I will see you guys Friday. Thank you for listening. Bye.